Hello, my name is Kirioth, and oh my god, we're having the paid mod discussion again. It's not dead. You thought it was dead, but no, it has risen from the ashes like some sort of shitty phoenix, and now we're talking about it again. And once again, it is the subject of Skyrim and Fallout and just Bethesda in general. Oh dear. Let's just go into it, because there's so many different sides to this that I don't even know what conclusion I'm going to arrive at. I've tried to come to one before starting this video and I can't, so we'll just talk it through and see what happens. So essentially, Bethesda did their conference for E3. It was crap. It was not a good conference. It was just like a long video presentation, most of which we already knew, and they keep reminding us that Skyrim exists. We are aware of this. It's incredibly popular. We know you made Skyrim. We also know it's coming to the Switch because you already said that. Why no release date? I don't know. They didn't give one. It was basically just going, oh yeah, we're still doing this, but we're not saying when. No, not good. So, not a great conference, but there was a particular takeaway that a lot of people have got quite upset about, and that is the Bethesda Creation Club. Now, what is the Bethesda Creation Club? Well, it's a it's a method of getting new content for Skyrim, Fallout, and it's paid. It's a paid thing. It is a paid mod service, effectively, for Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition. And it allows you to spend credits on mods made by Bethesda Game Studios and collaborating partners. The mods include new weapons, armor, outfits, accessories, crafting options, housing features, and gameplay enhancements. It's mods. I think I've probably said that a couple of times now. It's fucking mods that you pay for. And you pay for them with credits, not actual money. You have to buy credits and then you use those credits to buy mods, because of course that system works brilliantly and everyone loves it, don't they? Oh no, wait, Xbox Live ditched that system because people fucking hated it so much. Why are you doing that, Bethesda? That is silly. Don't do that. So, does this mean that mods are going away? That all mods will only be available through Creation Club? Is that what this is? Is this like a power grab, a power move? Bethesda are like, no, fuck you, get your free mods out of here, paid shit only. Get your work out of our game. Fuck off. No, they say no. All mods will be fully compatible with save games and your existing add-ons, by the way. So that's a thing, because not all mods are, but the Bethesda official Creation Club ones will be. They did a little FAQ, and they answered the question: is Creation Club paid mods? That's a very dodgy, not a dodgy question, but grammar there, not great. Is Creation Club paid mods? Doesn't really make any sense. But they knew what they meant. And they said, no. Mods will remain a free and open system where anyone can create and share what they'd like. Also, we won't allow any existing mods to be retrofitted into Creation Club. It must all be original content. Most of the Creation Club content is created internally, some with external partners who have worked on our games, and some by external creators. All the content is approved, curated, and taken through the full internal dev cycle, including localization, polishing, and testing. This also guarantees that all content works together. That is a very bold claim. We've looked at many ways to do paid mods, and the problems outweigh the benefits. We've encountered many of these issues before. But there's a constant demand from our fans to add more official high-quality content to our games, and while we are able to create a lot of it, we think many in our community have the talent to work directly with us and create some amazing new things. So, these are not paid mods, according to Bethesda, except they include new weapons, armor, outfits, accessories, crafting options, housing features, and gameplay enhancements, which sound like fucking mods to me. And I only say that because the last time I played Skyrim, I loaded it with new weapons, armor, outfits, accessories, crafting options, housing features, and gameplay enhancements, which were obtained through the Steam Workshop. Just saying, Bethesda, just saying. Now, if you want to call this something other than mods, I think the only thing you can really call it is essentially like micro DLC. So, you see a fancy new weapon on the Creation Club, you want to buy it. Okay? I mean, if it was under any other system and it was free, it would be a mod, but by the fact you have to pay for it, that kind of shifts it into DLC territory. Kind of, but not really. I mean, it's the same sort of, who was it? It was THQ were brilliant for that. If you look at the Space Marine the Space Marine DLC, there's a lot of weapons, a lot of armor. It's not really DLC, it's just skins. It's basically modding the game, and that's essentially what a lot of the stuff will be, I'd imagine. I think the distinction is supposed to come from the fact that, you know, free mods aren't going away. They're not going to get rid of those. It's not like the Steam Workshop will suddenly not work with Skyrim or Fallout. It's not as though Nexus mods is going to get shut down. You can still get free stuff if people want to provide free stuff, which I'd imagine a lot of mod makers will still carry on doing free mods for those games, especially since they're not going to have to be curated or anything like that. You know, if you want to make, I mean, Jesus Christ, some of the mods that you can get off Nexus, you know, if you want a naked hentai orgy in the middle of your Skyrim town, then you can absolutely find a mod for that, and I'd imagine that's not going to be available in any format via the Creation Club. Just a feel, just a thought, I'm guessing, that perhaps they won't allow that kind of thing. There will always be, I think, free mods for these games. The difficulty is that Bethesda is saying that what they're making are not mods, they just sound awfully like mods and they're charging for them. There is a slight difference in terms of quality that I think people actually have to look at before they make a complete judgment on this. Because there's a few factors that I think they deserve consideration, you know? Firstly, do you believe that modders should be paid? Now, for me, I am of the opinion that if the modder's work is good, and they put a lot of effort into it, then they perhaps do deserve something for their work if they want it. Now, this is the other thing. If a modder wants to make stuff just for the sheer hell of it and doesn't want any sort of payment for it, then obviously they should be allowed to do that. No one should be allowed to stop them. They should just be allowed to do what the hell they want. As long as they're not going out there trying to fuck up your game intentionally, and they're just trying to make stuff because they enjoy making it, by all means, they should be allowed to carry on doing what they want to do. If a modder puts in like 50 hours work into some sort of decent like addition to the game, or even those people who do these massive overhauls, like complete overhauls of the game, if they want to be paid for it, I think they probably do deserve some sort of compensation for their time. You know, if they want it and if people are willing to give it to them, then there should be a way by which they could receive some sort of monetary compensation for the time they've spent providing entertainment for other people. If they're producing just garbage, like if I download a mod for Skyrim, it's supposed to do all these amazing things, like, I don't know, let's say the character creator is completely overhauled in this mod, and all it does is just either break the game when there's nothing else installed, or it just fucks up the models, or it doesn't run properly, or it causes massive performance issues. I would take the same attitude to that mod that I do to standalone games that have that kind of effect on my PC. I fucking uninstall them, and then if I'm still within the grace period, I will refund them as well, because no, I'm not putting up with that. That is absolute bollocks. If you do a terribly shoddy, horrendous job, you shouldn't get anything for it. Do you know what I mean? It sounds harsh, but that's the way it works everywhere else, especially when it comes to games on Steam. Like if you download a shit game, you just refund it. That's what the system is for. Likewise, if a modder produces a total bag of shit mod that does nothing or just breaks everything, I'm not going to want to support that person because they've not done a good job. That's just how I feel about it. Some people absolutely do deserve it. Some people may not want it or don't have the technical skill to make that mod worth paying for, if that makes sense. The other thing is that, can you class something that goes through a full dev cycle as a mod? Now, this is where things get a little bit confusing, a little bit, not frustrating, but if you download a bunch of random mods off the Steam Workshop, the chances are there's going to be some sort of conflict, right? There's going to be some sort of issue where one mod wants to do one thing, another one wants to do something similar, they call upon the same part of the game, and everything goes horribly wrong. That's just what happens, because modders are quite often just individuals or small groups. It's not like the modding community all has communications channels with each other, and they're able to go, actually, my thing uses that thing, so no one else can use that thing for what they want to do. That's not how it works. That's never been how it's worked when it comes to like the modding community as a great big collective of people. What they're saying here, Bethesda, is that all content will work together. Now that is a massively bold claim, because what they're saying is that what you're paying for, effectively, is not just a mod. It is a mod that has been approved, it's been curated, so multiple people have looked at it and said, yes, this is suitable for the game, yes, we can make this work. Then it's got to be taken through a full internal dev cycle. So people have got to pick this thing apart, see what makes it work, make sure that it's going to work reliably and that it's not going to break anything. They're going to localize it, they're going to make it so that if there's any janky bits, they fix it, then they test it, and then they release it, whilst promising that that one particular mod will not will not in any way conflict with another mod that you've paid for. Now that is a slightly different proposition to what free mods offer. Free mods are a bit of a minefield if you want to go crazy and start hammering shitloads of stuff into your game. You can easily break stuff just because you downloaded one extra thing that maybe was pushing it a little bit, and then you've got to disable things one by one and work out what the hell is going on. What Bethesda is suggesting is that you won't have that issue. You know, you can get any number of Creation Club mods, they are mods, and they'll just all work together. Is that worth paying for? That's the thing you got to ask yourself, because I don't think this whole situation is quite as simple as people are making it out to be. I think people are still holding on to the previous attempt at paid mods, and the previous attempt at paid mods was fucking dire. Don't get me wrong, the previous attempt was bullshit, it was fucking stupid. It was literally, oh, you can charge for mods, and that was the entire thinking behind it. There was no curation, there was no testing, there was no polishing, there was no checking for conflicts, there wasn't even any checking to see who owned the fucking mod when they uploaded it. It was all just, oh well, there you go, off, knock yourself out. That was garbage. That was absolute garbage, and it went down in flames as it should have done because it was garbage. This is not the same proposition. This is essentially treating every single mod that you download as its own separate expansion or DLC to the game. This is taking every little bit of content that people submit and that Bethesda itself makes and going through the entirety of the measures they'd go through for releasing a game. They are making sure, they say, that this is the key part, it hasn't started yet, this is what they say, they are going to make sure that all of that stuff that you are being charged for will work with all of the other stuff. Now the question becomes then, is it worth the money to you? Is that worth it to you? Now, the other thing as well is that it's unlikely these mods will go away. There is genuinely an issue when it comes to free mods whereby you might find the person who made the mod deleted it, got rid of it, you can't find it anymore. You love that mod but now it's gone. This should be available pretty much indefinitely. So I think really what you're paying for isn't the mod itself. There's a couple of things. It's the testing of the mod. It's making sure that that mod is compatible with all other mods that you get from that source. And it's the permanence of that mod. It's the fact that once you've bought it, you should have it indefinitely. It should always be available. Now, if that turns out not to be the case, that is bullshit. But I'm assuming that that is what they're aiming for with that. Is it worth money to you for that to be the case? Because let's be honest, there are a certain group of people who will enjoy the experience of downloading a load of mods, making them all work together, you know, working out what works with what, making sure that it all runs smoothly. There are people who enjoy that. Hell, I used to enjoy that. I just don't have the time for it anymore. There are also people who don't want any of that shit. They want to go, hey, that's a cool sword. I want that sword. And then they have that sword. And that sword works with that armour that they got from that person and that horse that they got over there, and they can use the sword inside the house that they downloaded from someone else. Not everyone has the patience or the time or the inclination to deal with the troubleshooting side of downloading mods. Now, technically, what they're suggesting is that they are taking that side of things away with the Creation Club and the content that you'll get from it. This guarantees that all content works together. I think this is not as clear cut as before. Before the system was garbage, this is a bit more nuanced. It's not the same. Free mods aren't going anywhere, so it's not like the stuff that you use now is going to be replaced. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to be just fucked off because, as they pointed out, they won't allow existing mods to be retrofitted in Creation Club. It must be original content. So even if people want to switch over to making paid mods, the free stuff should still be available because they can't use it. They can't submit it. I'm not entirely sure that this is as black and white as people are saying, and I don't know whether I'm entirely against it. On the one hand, it is the kind of creeping expansion where more and more stuff that we do in games is being charged for, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't like how kind of extreme it's getting in terms of what you purchase after you've already bought the product. I don't like the trend that is going on, and this is very symptomatic of that. This is, you know, stuff that used to be free now being charged for, which is happening an awful lot these days. On the other hand, it's not cutting off the source of free material the way that the previous attempt was. It's not removing the lifeline of modding. It's almost apart. It's similar but different and off to one side. And the amount of curation and testing and stuff that Creation Club mods will go through, I think they would be daft to do it for free, even though I undoubtedly think they could afford to. I don't think that they necessarily need to do this, but at the same time, at the end of the day, they are a company. They want to make money, and this is a way to make money. It's a complicated one. There's aspects of this I don't like. There's aspects I don't like, but on the other hand, I can absolutely, from the perspective of someone who does not have the amount of time that they used to have to mess about with this stuff, I can see the attraction of dropping a few quid on a few mods that you know will work together. Would I do it myself? No, I actually wouldn't. But I could easily see there being a group of people who would do that, who do not have the time, the patience, the inclination. I could easily see people thinking to themselves, or I could just spend an extra tenner and have all of this cool stuff that works. I don't know. This is an interesting one. It's a tricky one, and I don't think it's a knee-jerk reaction one. I think it's something that people need to give more thought to. With that being said, what do you reckon? Do you think that it's a good idea, a bad idea? Do you think they're just encroaching on territory they shouldn't be encroaching on? Do you think paid mods is just bullshit no matter how they do it? Or do you think that added element of quality assurance actually has value? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to see what you think about this, because it's another divisive one, and I just don't think it's that simple. Anyway, if you like the video, there's other stuff to click around here as well. A subscribe button, there's a Patreon thingy, and then there's a couple more videos as well. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.